I suffer with anger issues, and I have fought it. I have fought those demons, and I never won. I never got anywhere. I never got any better. Uncontrollable rage. Okay, now that rage is a misrepresentation of my emotions. Whenever I was sad, whenever I felt weak or betrayed or small, I shoved it down. From a young age, I was told to just fit in, not to draw attention to myself. So I learnt to be small. I may not look small, but for most of my life, I felt small. Until one day, I had had enough, and I snapped. And ever since that day, I had issues and problems controlling my anger and my emotions. And welcome back to your mum's favorite channel on YouTube, Cult Strength. Today, baby, today we are talking mindset, we are talking mental health. That's what we're doing. It is Sunday, and I've got something to say, guys. Now, in one of my last videos, I asked the question, do you guys want me to speak about mental health and mindset? And I'm going to keep it very real for you, okay? Now, on Instagram, a few days ago, I put up a post talking about fighting demons, going to war, battling them, okay? This whole concept of fighting your demons, okay? And now I understand it, and I get it, because I've been there before. Trust me, I've been there before. And it might get a little personal here, because I'm going to talk about it as well from my perspective and what I've been through. Okay, so we're going to break it down from the beginning. Okay, now it may seem cool or tough or masculine. It may have some real impact, you know what I mean? And when you talk about fighting your demons and going to war with them, okay? It's tough. You're fighting. You're grinding. I get it. And that's, in a sense, good. But the underlying meaning, I think, and the perspective that you have may be very flawed. And I'm going to really break it down and explain why that is, and why, when you say you're fighting your demons, that's really hurting you. And that's really slowing down your progress across the board. I'm talking about in life. It's definitely hurting you, okay? Now, I have a lot of passion when it comes to things of a spiritual nature, esoteric, practices and knowledge, things like that. I like going down rabbit holes real deep and finding the original meanings of things. I'm talking about pre-monotheistic religion, okay? Pre-Christianity, pre any monotheistic God. Going back to the roots, okay, to our ancestry, to the primordial parts of us, the primal parts of us, real deep. Okay, so we're going to talk about demons. Now, whether you are a Christian or not, whether you have been part of the Christian indoctrination growing up, whether it was forced on you, even if it wasn't Christianity, even if it was another monotheistic religion, let's say Islam, potentially, or maybe you are Jewish, whatever it may be, whatever your belief system may have been growing up, even if you have rejected it now as you've grown up and you've said, no, that's not for me, I don't believe in that, even if, let's say, you call yourself a Satanist and you're against all of that, okay, that's cool and that's good, that's growth, to be able to step away and see things as they are. Maybe it's a rebellious part of you, maybe you're just rebelling. Whatever it may be, I'm not too sure. But even if you have stepped away from the world of religion, Christianity, whatever it may be, deep down, deep in your subconscious, you are still heavily programmed and controlled by it. Okay, now you may not agree. You may say, no, I'm not. I've done that as well. And it's taken me a lot of time to start to deprogram everything that has been, put in my brain from the day that I was born. Okay, now this isn't, the fault of your parents necessarily, or anything like that, because a lot of people are truly unaware. And we are programmed in such a way that sometimes we don't even know. Okay, so how does this tie in? Well, when someone says they're battling their demons, they are now placing the blame or the root cause of their problems outside of themselves to a scapegoat, essentially. So you're fighting your demons, something is attacking you from the outside. It's a fight, it's a battle. Your walls are up and you're ready to go. Good concept, I understand that. But when you start to understand what demon actually means and what it truly is, okay? Now, I'm not saying that there aren't things that exist outside of us, but in 99.9% of the time, in 99.9% of cases, all of your problems stem from within yourself, as I learnt personally. So demon, and I've Googled it, daemon. I've Googled it, okay, because when we think about demon, where does that come from? That comes from the word daemon, spelled D-A-E-M-O-N. Now, daemon comes from ancient Greek, okay, and essentially it can mean God, godlike, power, or fate. It is originally referred to, however, as a lesser deity or a guiding spirit. Okay, so let's break that down. A demon comes from the word daemon. Daemon originally meant guiding spirit. What is your guiding spirit? Your guiding spirit is your higher self, your inner demon. Okay? Now, when you think of the word demon, you're automatically going to think of a demon that's in, that is stemmed from Christianity. It's the nemesis of God, of the angels. It is the embodiment of evil and bad things. Okay, now that's not the case. That is simply not the case. When you think about what angel means, the actual translation of angel originally was messenger, and the translation of daemon was teacher. Okay? Demons are here to teach you. And what does that mean? Once you realize what a demon actually is, as your guiding spirit, your higher self, your inner demon, it is a part of you. It is you. It is the darkness inside of you. The angel is the light inside of you, essentially, okay? We can't have one without the other. It's not possible. We need polarity, okay? There is light and there is dark. Simple, right? Kind of. Let's go deeper. Okay, so you're fighting your demons. You're actually fighting yourself. What do you mean you're fighting yourself? Because a lot of people say, you've probably heard the term shadow work before. It's very broad. No one really explains it. Therefore, not many people understand it. But when you're fighting your demons, what you're fighting is parts of your psyche that you have repressed from a young age, okay? Things about yourself that you felt shame about, guilt, something you felt you needed to hide from the world because you couldn't quite accept it about yourself. Okay, now what happens is, through years and years of doing this, it's like a trash bag. You can push it down, okay? But eventually, it's gonna fill up and it's gonna overflow. And when that shadow comes out to play, if you have no relationship with your inner demon, it is gonna run havoc. It is going to destroy you, and you will feel like something externally is attacking you. But in reality, it's self-sabotage. You're fighting yourself. That is the fucking darkest, dirtiest part of yourself that you have tried to repress, and it's come out to play. And when you don't have a relationship with that or no awareness, it takes full control. What is demonic possession? People say, oh, he was possessed. It was the devil. No, that was someone who hadn't dealt with their problems and they became psychotic. That part of them took full control, and the person inside went goodbye. And that's what essentially demonic possession is. So, I guess that starts to bridge the gap a little between what, demons really are. Now, how do we fix this problem? Okay, we don't fix the problem by fighting it. We don't fight our demons. What we must do, and what is so difficult, even harder than fighting them, is getting to know them. Sitting with yourself and your thoughts in the dark, meditating, talking to yourself. That may sound psychotic. And we'll get a little metaphysical here as well, okay? Because when we're doing this, a good exercise would be to sit in the room and do some meditation, okay? A closed space, private space, nice and dark, nice and quiet. Close your eyes and think. Think about those parts of you, truly, that you really know within you that you have some problems. Okay, for me, I suffer with anger issues, and I have fought it. I have fought those demons, and I never won. I never got anywhere. I never got any better. Uncontrollable rage. Okay, now that rage is a misrepresentation of my emotions. Whenever I was sad, whenever I felt weak or betrayed or small, I shoved it down. From a young age, I was told to just fit in, not to draw attention to myself. So I learnt to be small. I may not look small, but for most of my life, I felt small. Until one day, I had enough. I had enough, apparently, and I snapped. And ever since that day, I had issues and problems controlling my anger and my emotions. I have been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and it's great to get a diagnosis, I guess. It doesn't help, okay, but I understand what is wrong with me, and I understand what I must do to improve myself. I'm not going to sit here and blame my BPD on my actions of the past. That was me. I can blame other people for making me feel that way, or I can look in the mirror and say, hey buddy, it's time we deal with this stuff. It's time we go back and we revisit these problems. Now, when I say revisit, I mean it in a literal sense, okay? So when we're meditating, when we're doing shadow work, don't think of time as this thing that is point A here and point B here. Think of it as time is this way, right? We are only ever in the present. Tomorrow is tomorrow, and when it is now, it is now. We are always in the present. We cannot go back. We cannot go forward. The past, does it even exist? Who the fuck knows? But anyway, you're going to take yourself back to an instance, some point in your childhood. You'll be able to find it, where it made you feel that way, where it made you feel sad, where you felt like something was wrong or you weren't enough. That point in time where you had to push it down to survive. Because that's what it is as well. It's survival. We naturally do this to protect ourselves. And we, all these actions that come from these suppressed emotions, they have good intent from the individual. It's about protecting yourself and preserving yourself because you don't want to be hurt again. You don't want to feel that pain again. So we lash out. You know what I mean? We sabotage friendships, relationships, and ourselves and our own growth to avoid feeling that pain again. And that's not healthy. Although it's survival, it's not healthy, and we can do better. So when we're revisiting these times, you close your eyes and you go back. Imagine you now, though. So it's not, you now as you sitting there, whether your name's John or Billy or fucking whatever, okay, me as Reese. Right now, I'm going to go back as me to a time when I was a kid. And I would sit there and I would have a conversation in my head. I would picture me sitting there, feeling dejected, feeling sad, feeling unloved maybe feeling unworthy. And I would comfort myself. I wouldn't sit there and say, harden up, princess. That's not what it's about. And this is where it might get Some people, I guess, might be a little bit turned off by it, but you have to be there for yourself. Tell yourself it's going to be okay. Tell yourself you're worthy. Tell yourself you are loved. Be there to support yourself. Pick that person up off the ground. Hold them. Tell them everything's all good. You know what I mean? And then you go back and you understand where it started from, why you started to suppress these emotions. And eventually you can let it go. But if you never go back to even understand why you act like that, you're never going to have a chance. And therapy is one thing, but I don't like therapy. I've done therapy several times. I mean, I'm not talking several sessions. I'm talking, I've tried it on several different occasions, time and time again. You know, you get a diagnosis, you might walk out of there feeling like you've made some improvements, but the improvements aren't made with someone else telling you what's what. It's not. Improvements aren't made by medicating yourself. Improvements are made by yourself, with yourself, in the darkest depths of the void. That is where you will find yourself. In the darkness you shall find the light. The light of Lucifer, perhaps. Now, when I talk about Lucifer and Satan, you know, that is simply a way for people to understand what it is I'm talking about. And people, I guess, automatically think Christianity, right? I don't see it like that. I don't see it like that. That's not what it's about, because these deities, gods, energies, spirits, whatever you want to call them, they've been around from the beginning of time. They are parts of the human psyche, parts of consciousness that I believe do exist outside of us, but it all starts from within us, and we can never connect to these things unless we connect to ourselves, okay? So like when I talk about, you know, Belial or Satan, anything like that, it's what it represents. And these demons are a part of me. Belial is the aspect of me that says, fuck you, I'm not a slave, you are not my master. I have no master. I am my own fucking God, okay? Belial is that part of me that seeks power and success on this physical realm, in this world that is ours, that is his. Belial represents that part of humanity that just runs their own shit, that doesn't want to take shit from anybody and doesn't take orders. Satan, who is Satan? Again, you can identify him by the Bible. He has gone by other names. Shiva, Hindu culture. Set, Egyptian, okay? We can go further. What does he represent? It's not just the devil. The devil is a concept. Satan represents the rebellion against everything you've been programmed with. That's what he represents. He is the answer to the indoctrination. He's the answer to taking your life back and making it your own and not living by those rules. Okay? That's just two examples. People take things so literally. And I'm not saying that things outside of us don't exist again. I'm not. I've had too many experiences personally to know better. But what we must understand is we never have those experiences truly unless we understand ourselves and we can understand what it means. Okay, so, you know, I don't have a script for this. I'm just talking, but I hope this has made some sense. You know, battling demons, you know, isn't cool. It might sound cool, the imagery might be cool, but you make up for yourself. The imagery is powerful. You know what I mean? That's how we create in this world, through imagery. And when we create battles for ourselves, how is life going to be easy? How is life going to be good if you're constantly fighting? Especially yourself, you know? So take ownership back of yourself. Look in the mirror. You are capable of fixing every problem you have. Everything. And I mean that because you're only in this situation because of yourself. Karma isn't a thing. Karma is, you know, cause and effect. You make a decision, something else happens down the track. You know, so you can say I have bad karma, I'm in a bad position, this and that. Or you can say I made some poor choices and this is a situation I find myself in. What are you going to do about it? And it's as simple as that, guys. So stop fighting yourself, please. Spend more time loving yourself. That's important. We must love ourselves, and it's cheesy, but it's really true, because life isn't about being big and tough and scary. Life's about being happy, successful, and enjoying the experience as much as we can, and growing and learning. You know, we have these battles, but we must win. And the only way that we win these battles is by understanding them and knowing that they're not battles we have to fight. We just got to sit down with ourselves, take some time, get to know the dark parts of yourself, because they are very real, just as you are. And they don't like being suppressed. Would you like being thrown in a hole and forgotten about? Probably not. But hey, I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it was positive. Hope you got something out of it. And if you want to hear more like this from me, I'd be happy to talk about it some more. So let me know. But until next time, go to the fucking gym.